Greetings, Abukador. This is my statutory declaration experience where I will start off by reciting my statutory declaration that was sent to Brian P. Kemp, the governor of Georgia, and it states as following. I, Latika Lashe Baskerville, now known as Nashoni Etenia-El Orenda Onata, do solemnly declare in accordance with the 1931 Statute of Westminster, 1778 Article of Confederation and Perpetual Union, Art 11, 1812 Treaty of Ghent, 1794 J Treaty, 1836 Treaty of Marrakesh, Morocco, all recognized and valid treaties, Constitution for the United States of America, the 1948 Charter of the United Nations, Pope apologies to the indigenous people, United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, and the UN International Decade for People of African Descent, that upon discovering that the registration of live birth of October 4th, 1991, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Virginia Republic, was a contract between my mother and the Commonwealth of Virginia, who did not tell her she was selling me, a flesh and blood child, to the Commonwealth of Virginia as their chattel property / slave, which is in violation of human rights. I hereby void this contract ab initio for fraud. I am an Etonian flesh and blood female of Cherokee descent, in accordance with the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous People and HJR-194. United States sending apology to African Americans for slavery. U.S. apology to the Native Americans. H.R.3326 Department of Defense Appreciation Act. And Regina versus Ja. On May 14th, 2011, at Southwark Crown Court, 1 English Ground in Southwark, London, England, defendant John Anthony Hall in the United Kingdom proved before an English judge that Elizabeth Alexandria Mary Windsor Mountbatten Bettenberg Sack Coburg was not the rightful monarchy and never was. Queen Elizabeth is not the rightful monarchy and never was. This was a two-part argument. First, that Queen Elizabeth knew both then and now that she was crowned on a fake coronation stone instead of the real stone of destiny coronation stone, which meant not only was she never properly crowned, but secondly, she was also knowingly and fraudulently conning the public, and that is why she didn't want her coronation televised. I declare that the name Latika Lashe Baskerville on the registration of live birth is a corporation, and that's Nashoni Etenia-El Orenda Onata is an Etonian flesh and blood female of Cherokee descent. I am not a corporation, artificial person, natural person, fictitious entity or vessel of the United States defined under Title 18 U.S.C9. And I give notice internationally, domestically, universally, via this declaration that I deny corporate existence. Under reservation of all my rights unalienable and otherwise, I am an Etonian indigenous of this planet and I make this solemn declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and that it is the same force and effect as if made under oath. This is my statutory declaration. That was sent and received, along with attachments. And the specific attachments that stood out to me the most was the Pope say indigenous people must have the final say over their land. And I would just want to recite a small part here where it states that Francis echoed growing body of international law and standards on the right to prior and informed consent. Basically saying that, of course, they give consent for prior and informed, which is currently going on now, consent that we have the right and the final say, basically, over our land. And the next one that stood out to me the most was the Pope Francis apology to the indigenous people for grave sin of colonialism. My apologies. Which comes along with, of course, my package came along with many attachments, but those ones stood out to me the most because that put like the emphasis on how real this really is. This is the confirmation that the statutory declaration was received by Brian P. Kemp's office. And I also sent a statutory declaration for my son as well. And this is his. And along with his attachments as well. This experience here has allowed me to step into a power that I did not know I even had, or even that I was considered a slave or sold to the state as chattel. And if you would like to follow in these same footsteps, you can contact Chief Etenia-El, same as I did. Him and his mate companion Sa is amazing, and the information he provides, like I said, is definitely a veil lifter. It shows you what you're really in, what contracts you are really under, and how everything is a contract. And it just opens your eyes to the world that you're actually living in instead of the world that they're actually feeding you. So I just do want to give much appreciation to Chief Etenia-El for being that beacon for me, to lifting the veil for me so I can see clearly. I'm no longer blind to what's happening out here. I'm fully aware, and I'm standing in my power, and I'm taking my power back, and he gave me that. He gave me that, and I am just so grateful. And I do want to thank him once again, him and his mate Sa, so much. And I will also provide the information on how you can also too walk in these footsteps by taking your power back, by realizing who you are and taking back what's yours. Ebukadora, Ebukadora, Ebukadora. White power, white power, white power. I am white.